Good evening, everybody. I am Amit Agarwal. I am the co-founder and CEO of NoBroker. What is NoBroker? For people who are not aware, we are basically a platform which connects property owners and property tenants directly with each other without any broker in between. Now, today's topic is redefining narrative. So, what we have been able to do to some extent is to challenge this traditional narrative of brokers and real estate. And I am hoping that by sharing our learnings of past 10 years, there would be some useful nuggets that will help you guys as a takeaway today. Well, did I ever think about challenging a traditional industry when I was a kid? No. Even when I was adult, no. I was born in a middle class family in UP, and the objective was very, very clear that education is your way out to a better life. I was good in studies, so I did my engineering from IIT Kanpur. Then I worked for a couple of years as a programmer. Then I gave an interview to XLRI Jamshedpur, who rejected me, and then thankfully I was able to get into IIM Ahmedabad, so it covered up. And after that, like every other MBA pass out, I chased what was giving more salary, which was consulting. But as it happened out, I ended up loving consulting, and I continued in consulting for almost a decade. And while I was in this consulting profession, I had to shift multiple cities because the client engagements were longish. And every city change involved changing houses, renting houses, and there came my connection with brokers. And to say the least, the experience with brokers was mix of average and frustrating. The reason is that I soon realized that brokers, many of the brokers, their objective is to just close a deal. So, for example, if I have just arrived in a new city, a broker will accompany me to show houses, and while he is talking to me, he is also sizing me up. He is trying to figure out my knowledge level, my budget, and he is trying to see whether I am new to the city and how much do I know about the city and the rent. The moment he guesses that I don't know much, he is going to show me the worst properties, which are the non-moving properties, कि इसको चिपका देते हैं किसी तरह से. And I soon realized that he will fake as if he knows a lot about me in front of the owner and vice versa, just to close the deal. So I realized that many of the brokers are here in this profession not to do good with their clients. The main objective is to close the deal, and who knows it better than the NCR population. And as years passed by, many of these experiences became ridiculous also. For example, when I was living in Bombay, I wanted to shift to another floor, the floor in which I was living. And in the same society where I am living, I am trying to find another house. It must be so easy, right? You basically WhatsApp and you ask some people around, and you are in the same society. You should be able to get a home there. You are not new to that society. But I couldn't. And I had to cross the street, meet a broker, give him brokerage, and then get a flat in the same building 2 floors above. So, the basic question was that why is it that we are paying so much of money to this third person only for connecting two people? And this is in the internet era, when connecting people is such an easy task. You can send a friend request to anybody in the world. So, we basically started asking this question, and in parallel even my co-founders, who later became co-founders, they had their own silly experiences with brokers. And we started meeting each other and asking this very basic question as to why can't technology solve this problem. When we spoke to more people, many people we were met with some bit of disdain, some bit of ridicule, because the question was, so when we first pitched this idea to investors, their question was, hey, if this is such a good idea, then why hasn't somebody in US done it? Why hasn't somebody in China did it? So where is the Uber equivalent of it? Where is the Amazon equivalent of it? We said there is none. And even today, till today, there is no other player in the entire world who has done non-brokerage. So we said, see, we don't know the answer. Perhaps it is because of the structure, perhaps in US and China, you have to complete a certification, there is an examination to become a broker. It is not like India where a pan wala can become a broker and collect everything in cash. Perhaps things are much more regulated in other countries. But still the question is, if this is such a good idea, why hasn't someone else done it before? And I think this is one of the core challenges that you face when you are redefining a traditional old narrative, that people are going to ask, if you are so smart, why hasn't somebody else done it? But that is not the real question. The real question is, you have the audacity to just ask a very simple question. So we just kept on asking this question. The other 2-3 big challenges which people said, and they were right in terms of the challenge, was, so 3 main challenges. One is that this is going to be very slow, which is true, because see, if you want to make a platform which has brokers, it's comparatively very easy. You make it free for brokers, brokers will come and post properties. They may be real, they may be fake, but they will post properties. You do some digital marketing, hire some good engineers, they will make a platform, you will get younger tenants to come on the platform, and the interaction will start. And later you can start charging brokers for advertisement and so on, and there is a business. But if you are trying to do C2C, which is customer to customer, property owners on one side, property tenants and buyers on another side, it's very complex. Because right now, if you have a property, say in Khar, and a tenant in Bandra, it will not close. So you need a micro matchmaking at a locality level, at a budget level, at a BHK level on that same month. So imagine the complexity of the problem. So first of all, C2C platform is very difficult to make. Second is that, why will customers pay you money upfront? No one in the world, nowhere in the world do customers of real estate pay money upfront. Even in US, even in China, they pay money after the deal is done. But if you are a real estate platform, an internet platform, we will basically charge before. So why will people pay us before? That's also a very valid question. And the third weird question is, what if brokers fake themselves into your site and portray themselves as genuine owners and tenants? What will you do then? So all of these are very good questions, very valid questions, and to be truthful, we had no answer to this. But we slowly figured it out with the help of technology. So for example, we started making algorithm to figure out and catch a broker who is trying to act as a genuine tenant. So technology is great in this sense, because you can really sense it. A typical owner or tenant, the way in which he will use a platform is very different from a way in which a broker will use it. He will say 2 BHK, 1 BHK, 3 BHK, this locality, that locality. The behavior and the breadcrumbs that a broker leaves on the platform is very different, which we discovered with the help of technology as time passed by. And we became better and better, and today you will rarely find a broker over millions of customers who come to NoBroker. Second question was slow pace, which is true. In a country like India, which is a trust deficit country, it takes time for people to trust that you are really trying to do a good deed and there are no hidden charges and you are not trying to make a fool out of us. Which brings to the third and most difficult one, how will you charge upfront? So as time passed by, as NoBroker became more popular, people started experimenting, giving us our properties, also using broker, but in parallel trying to use us. Slowly the platform became bigger and bigger. And as the trust started increasing, we were slowly able to charge upfront. And today, 100% of what we charge is upfront. And that's because of the past 10 years of slow trust building, just elbow grease, putting your head down and just trying to solve the customer problem. The fourth problem that we never envisaged, no investor told us, was how will brokers react to the platform? So which brings me to a small story. We were in Bangalore, famous city for startups, very, very friendly. And one day outside our office, and office was no swanky office, it was just a home with 2-3 floors with kitchen and everything. We saw some 30-40 people standing outside the door. And we thought must be some political procession. But they were actually brokers whose main objective was to break computers, beat our employees and close the office. They must have heard from some customers that they want to check NoBroker first. So they were super angry. And they started beating our people, they wanted to enter the office. Thankfully, we had an iron grill door that we basically locked ourselves inside. And like a typical nerdy guys, we called police. Police came, took us to the police station, but the brokers were still there. And of course, our relationship with local police will not be that strong as that would be of brokers. So soon it became so painful that the brokers, many of those so-called brokers started thrashing the bikes parked outside. They started chasing female employees when they were going towards their home. And in the end, there was no choice but to vacate the office overnight. So vacated the office overnight. Even when we were taking the stuff out, some of the people chased us the vehicle in the night trying to see where we are going next. But there was nowhere to go next. So we found some temporary office, and then we basically again tried to build it. Very, very painful experience. But I think overall what we learned was that perhaps we are doing something worthwhile. That is why brokers are so angry with us. Over the years, now things have become more normal. They have accepted us, we have accepted them. And today, NoBroker has become pretty large. We realize that the moment you start questioning the typical narrative, many new opportunities open up. So we figured out that once the broker is removed and you have connection directly with the customer, then customer needs many things. So today we do packers and movers, painting, cleaning, home furnishing, rental agreement, legal documentation, gate management, and many, many more things, because broker doesn't take the customer out of the platform. The customer is right there. And after 10 years, today NoBroker is India's #1 real estate platform. We have 3 crore cumulative customers. We add more than 500 crore new customers every year. We make more than 1,000 crore of revenue. We are India's first PropTech unicorn. Our whole experience basically teaches us that if you just ask some very, very basic first principle questions, then you can challenge a very old traditional narratives industries. And I'm hoping that with a small example of NoBroker, many, many more entrepreneurs in India are going to use technology to challenge these traditional industries which are inefficient and will make customers' life better. Thank you.